Throughout the Design in Durban week, the city of Cape Town experiences collective information overload. Running parallel to the big event was a fascinating conference on the power of content marketing. We caught up with Helene Lindsay from New Media Publishing, who put the event together.
It is the most exciting time. You can see people coming alive at the prospect of what's going to happen, and I think having our conference, Design in Durban conference, there is an energy and a pace in the city that is fantastic at the moment.
What sort of inspiration have you taken from the week?
Well, the inspiration I took from the first 2 days of our conference was that it's exhausting. I'm never doing it again. But from the last 3 days, you know what I've been astounded by is the collaboration between various disciplines, incredible architects working with engineers and moving outside of the genre or the realm of things that they used to box themselves in with. So that has been the first thing, this collaboration and incredible energy that's coming out of that. And the second is to look at how people are looking at sustainable solutions to problems, but not in that green conscious, I'm going to not shave my armpits and eat lentils kind of way. They really were going, we have so many resources, and how can we actually change the world by doing things differently, by thinking differently?
It's absolutely critical that one is inspired in this kind of business. Content marketing, at every turn I go to these days, that seems to be the next big thing. What is it?
It's not the next big thing. It's been pitched, I think, as the new chick on the block, but I think it's because people are suddenly realizing the value, and there are a million different reasons. So New Media Publishing started off, John Brown Publishing, a few of the others, started off as custom publishers. A lot of people won't understand that, but it's the difference between consumer publishers, which is newsstand, and I'm not telling you because you know it, I'm just for the listeners, or the audience rather, and then ones that you do for a marketing purpose. So it's been around for a long time. Writing direct marketing mailers is content marketing. Creating an ad is, in a way, content marketing. It's telling a story. But I think that people are jaded. I think consumers are jaded by being pushed at all the time. I think, John Hegarty yesterday said that he doesn't know what's happened to the ad industry, but he feels like they keep on thinking that they make worse work, it's going to have better results. He's seen a decline in the overall quality of advertising. I think people are getting spammed and bombarded. They're more aware of the legal perspectives or the legal implications of collecting data. So I think there's a different consciousness. And I think content marketing is tapping into that consciousness. And I call it the softer cousin of marketing.
I'm glad you used the word softer, because it's all in the tone and the subtlety of the content. This is not a hard push in terms of marketing. And that, I would suggest to you, is often what brands get wrong. They want to push the message through. How do you pull them back?
It is a struggle, but once again, you know the old joke in advertising when they get the clients make the logo bigger, it's just not big enough. I think they've understood.
Or a big phone number, or the price.
Large. Yes. Well, yes, we had to explain to one of our yes. So I think the nuances, and I love that word. The nuances are the classic marketing nuances. What is the audience you're talking to? If you're going to get them to engage, because ultimately that's what you want, how do you give them a message that services the brand, but services the customer first, services the reader or the user? And there's been a survey in the UK recently that 1/4 of all content consumed is branded content. So people are happy, and they trust that branded content is going to give them value as long as they see how it's going to value or benefit them. So for example, what we do, can I give examples?
Sure.
For Vodacom, what we do is for their contract customers, we decided that everything's always about, if you look at any of the other publications like Wired or stuff, or IT Web, they're fantastic, but they're very geek focused, they're very techie binary code. And ultimately, how Vodacom was talking was from this is a handset, it's a 4 gigahertz processing rate, which I don't know. So we said, let's take it out, let's take the geek out. And let's show people how to use tech in their real lives. So instead of saying, here's the new phone, it's fabulous, price point $9.99, we go, if you're a working mom, these are great apps to use on this phone. If you travel a lot, the battery life isn't good. Or we take 3 different instances of using the phone and say, well, if you like camera, then this one isn't. So we actually take the mystique and the mystery out and we make it real. And
but we're going the full circle here, because this is back to marketing 101. This is what marketers and brands should be doing.
Yes, but they did math.
Have we become over-geeked? Is that what you're suggesting?
I think we became too precious for a while. I think we forgot we were talking to real people. And I like talking to real people.
So when you sit down and define the message, typically how do you do that?
So we start with the brand strategy always. So a brand has to want to do something, and we have to play a role. If we do not play a role or add value, and we just write pretty stories, we dispensable. And it's been a big shift. So depending on what the need is, for example, Ackermans needed to change from quite family baby focused to more of a fashion forward focus. They were losing market share. So we changed the entire look of all the communications that we were doing, still in keeping with the brand, but very much more fashion forward with a fashion editor. So how do you define the message? The first is to understand the role you're going to play in the strategy. The second is to understand the audience you're talking to. What channels are those audience on? What are they missing? What don't they have in their lives? How can you add value? Because you don't want to just add more noise. You want to add something very real. And then we craft how we're going to roll a content plan out over a year with specific objectives, and how we're going to measure and test and evolve as we go.
Is there a relationship between a content marketing message and a typical above-the-line execution?
Absolutely. If I cannot say that more, because you cannot have fragmented communications. You cannot have someone getting one message from an advert, getting another message from a radio commercial, and getting another message from what we do.
But often the above-the-line execution is seen as the Goliath. Is that you're the tack on at the bottom?
I would like to think that we
you're
have
not.
soldiered bravely.
Yeah.
No, it was like that. Yeah. And there was a lot of talk at the conference as well about the lead agency. And a lot of people were saying, you know, it's not necessarily the lead agency. What should happen is the client should be the lead agency, and then everyone else should play a role. So I think we've shifted a lot, and I've been pushing for collaboration a lot. So we actually sit around with our big clients specifically, and we will have everyone from the database management company to the PR company to the above the line. We'll all sit around. Client will say what they need to do, and then we will work out between ourselves what we're going to do, and it's fantastic.
Is it unfair to say that a content marketing strategy doesn't suit all brands? I can understand a fashion brand like Ackermans that you're trying to migrate up the demographic chain, something like a Vodafone, for instance. But would it be easy to do it for a hard industrial cement brand, for instance?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me how.
It's so funny. People think of the glam brands. A hard industrial cement company is going to have a specific industry they deal with. They're going to have architects, engineers, structural engineers, quantity surveyors.
Who have a requirement of a specific message, which is often technical in nature.
Exactly. So what happens if you take that hard concrete that's never really communicated, relies on its brand, and they start doing a trade publication that focuses on innovation in building techniques, you know, new ways of doing low-cost housing, and subtly underpinned by that message is they are thought leaders in the cement industry.
But the point I'm making is the structural engineer who's reading that publication still wants the hard facts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, there is a need for it. It's just that it's not going to be about fashion.
It's a different type of delivery.
So you get specialist editorial guys. You actually probably would put a team in place that hunts these things down, because if you can position your brand as a hard manufacturing cement company, take it out of parity and give it a very specific luster.
I don't know how the two of us ended up talking about cement, but it's been fascinating. Thanks for talking to us.
I can talk about anything. Thank you very much.
And that's it from this year's Design in Durban here in Cape Town. Catch us on Twitter and Facebook, or swing by our website if you've missed any of the shows. Until next week, goodbye and thank you for watching.